Lucy and Max, hello. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. So awesome to see you live on the showcase.
Yeah, this is great. You guys are doing awesome. This is really cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Some fantastic healers and people that all both days.
Thank you for introducing us to Effie. She did a reading for me yesterday, like a healing session. Oh my, knock my socks off. Like that woman is powerful. She's not new on the block, you know. She knows her stuff.
No, she's great. She's excellent. She's helped me as well. She's fantastic.
Effie
so blown away.
Is like my spiritual mother.
Oh, someone else had made a comment in our back room that she helped him connect to his mother as well, and just like how grateful he was for her. Yeah, so incredible. So yeah, thank you for that. She's a gem. Yeah, we're gonna get together. I'm gonna help her in some business stuff. She's gonna help me as well. And I thought of you guys. We should probably just have a dinner all of us together. Yeah, it'd be fun. So great. Now that I can meet people we can actually drive to and hang out with. And you guys came to our house for full moon meditation or some kind of meditation, which was so awesome. And I immediately knew that you guys were going to be in our world somehow, and definitely strong leaders that are helping people, you know, in your own neck of the world. So, or I guess just a few towns over from me. So let's share your stories. We'll just start very basic. Kind of, how did your spiritual awakening, or how did you come into learning things of the spiritual nature? Max, do you want to go first, and then
sure, I'll go first.
If you want to share.
So I have always known there's more. Okay, from a young age, I would baffle priests. I was brought up Roman Catholic, and I would go and I'd say, you know what, I really felt something coming through your sermon today. And he'd look at me, thank you. And then I slowly started understanding that there was more. Now I'm Italian, so my grandmother, we have something called evil eye, and my grandmother knew that for me. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And I always wanted to know more, and she wouldn't tell me. It's a secret. At any rate, what happened was, one time I went to her and I said, Mama, can you do the thing? And she says, why? I said, because I think I have it. And I was about 5-6 years old, and she would do it. And she goes, how did you know? And I go, I don't know. So at that age, that's when I started realizing that, you know, okay, maybe there's something to more than just what we're told. And then also, as I grew up and got older, I started getting into tarot cards, and I started doing witches decks and stuff like that. And then I went to the priest, because, you know, as a good Roman Catholic kid, you want to make sure what you're doing is in line with God. And I had a priest say, well, you know what, you should just like not do any of that and just not entertain it. And so for a while I shut it down. And then coming to university, I studied anthropology, and the whole reason was to get closer sense to God. And then I was asked to do a religious experience, not of my own religion. So I took part in a native sweat, and it just opened my eyes to like a completely unseen world. And it's like, okay, you know what? Now I can't ignore this. Now I want more. And then from there, it brought me to people that, you know, slowly started nudging me in the right direction. I picked up some oracle cards. Was gifted a deck and started doing readings from there. And then it's like, you know what? I feel like I'm a healer. So I've always served people in one capacity or another in my other jobs and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, but it never felt right. So here I am serving people with regards to their billings and stuff like that, but it never felt right. So how can I serve at a greater level that will actually give me some sort of thing that I'm doing good work? And I became an NLP coach. So neuro-linguistic programming, I'm trained in that. From there, it kind of evolved into Reiki. And then I moved into Reiki. And now I don't do the NLP at all much anymore. And it's more Reiki healings, oracle card readings and stuff like that.
Can I just ask, just out of curiosity, how come you don't do the NLP? Because it definitely has its place for people. So
yes, it does.
I'm curious for you.
And it's not so much. It's more of an actual licensing thing, because haven't kept up with my certification.
Cool.
So the certifications run out. It's about me getting recertified, and I fully intend to do that at some point. I'm not there yet. I find that with the Oracle cards, as well as with the Reiki, with the Reiki that I do, it actually does similar sort of stuff to that. Now, could you say that I'm doing NLP while I'm doing that? No, because there are specific techniques that you do in NLP that I'm staying away from. I mean, I also do meditations with Foot Soul Temple, and there is some sort of visualization and stuff like that. And you could argue that maybe you're doing some NLP while you're doing that, but not really.
I think it ends up being just like we take little bits from all the things we've learned and we just make our own. We have our own modality in a sense, right? And that's definitely you.
So then I met this wonderful lady.
Oh, here we go.
And,
well, with myself, I always knew, Christina, there was something different about me as a child. I was raised Roman Catholic as well, spent a lot of time with my paternal grandmother, who I always found she was such a wise woman, because she always had these like natural remedies for like the smallest of things. Now I'm going to give you I'm going to tell you a story. She had a really bad earache once, and she lived in back home in the 80s. They were still very poor. So she had a really bad earache, and she says, you know what's the best thing for this? And I said, what? She found this black bug. Now, I don't know the name of it in English.
Earwig?
No, it wasn't. It was black. It almost looked like a black stink bug.
Okay.
Crushed it. I know it sounds graphic and gross, but she crushed it.
And there goes half of your viewership.
No, they're witches. They're right into this. They're hitting out the cauldron.
The insides of this bug, she put it in her ear. That's weird.
Wow.
And
how old were you? Because as a kid, you'd be like, what?
I was so used to it, because she really had the weirdest of things. And within hours, her earache went away.
Amazing.
So she helped me a lot with a lot of things. You know, I really looked up to her. At that time, when I lived back home, I would hear people talking to me. And when I was sleeping, I would actually wake up with someone blowing in my face, like that. So I'd wake up and there's nobody there. So when I would mention this to my mom, you know, being raised as a Roman Catholic, that was a devil, right?
Yeah.
And then, you know, I got older, and then, you know, my parents made a switch to a different religion.
Go ahead and say it. So I'll share.
I wasn't sure.
You were at our place. And
I wasn't sure if I could, but we went from being Roman Catholic to becoming Jehovah's Witnesses. So to me, that was really, really huge. Especially the Christmas thing. I'm really huge with Christmas. I loved Christmas. And it really was not, even as a child, I was raised that it wasn't about the gifts. It was about accepting. It was about God. It was about God. It was about being around family.
Right.
And I really missed Christmas a lot. So with that change, then I was really held back with a lot of things that I felt that needed to come out. At the age of 28, I finally gained the courage and I left. I left the religion. Within about a year, I was in, with leaving the religion, you know, you go through a lot, mentally, emotionally, because you're shunned by all your friends. They don't talk to you anymore. Got into a relationship with a gentleman. We were in a relationship for about 13 months. One day I went to work. Within all that, I transitioned my work and stuff. I became a PSW. Always loved working with the elderly. It must have been just all the time I spent with my grandmother. I loved working with the elderly, and it was mostly those who suffered with dementia and Alzheimer's. That was like a huge passion of mine. So during this relationship with this gentleman, one day I came home from work and he had passed away in the bedroom. Then after he passed away, within about a week, I actually felt him kissing me on my face, on my cheek, and it woke me up. So this brought up things from the past that I had experienced as a child.
Oh, I have goosebumps.
Yeah, and it just like it like woke me up again. It's like, whoa, hold on a second. And then I was curious, and then I really got curious and whatever. And I thought, okay, this is bizarre. I really have to continue with this because I cannot ignore this because this is happening.
And everything went.
I can't ignore this. Long story short, and then after that, I got into my second marriage, and that lasted for about 16 years. But I always felt that I was held back. Even certain people in my life were saying, there's just something wrong here. We just feel that you don't have. It's like my voice was being held back. I was in a relationship where I was mentally abused the last 2 years of it.
Right.
It was a narcissistic, very bad relationship, and it ended for a reason. It ended, thankfully, it ended because I needed to follow my path. And I was not following my path in that relationship because I was being shut down all the time.
Right.
And it took me a while to accept that because I was heartbroken because this was someone I really cared for. But then when it ended, it was almost as if I didn't know how to live my life without being controlled.
Look how you were raised, right? The religions.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So not only was it the religion, but then you go into a relationship where they think for you, they talk for you, and it was just very controlling. So got out of that, accepted life. I accepted it. It had to, and then I met this guy here.
And then all hell broke loose.
So I mean, it's been challenging for me, but I'm learning now. It's getting easier for me to speak as well. Whereas before it was like this whole thing of us talking here last night, I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this?
And you're doing great.
You're natural. You're a natural.
And so it's always been for me about helping people. It's always been, we all have the ability to help each other, love each other. And so I'm now a reflexologist, and I am loving to the core what I do every day.
Wait. Hang on.
That's so beautiful.
It's not that she's a reflexologist, because there's many reflexologists out there. She does much more than reflexology. She's very modest in her modality because her reflexology is unbelievable. And I'm not just touting her because she's my girlfriend. There's much more to what she does. Like, I mean, you explain reflexology and like there's energy that's being given from your hands into those feet that is clearing up stuff. Yeah,
well, there is. It's a non-invasive therapy. So our feet are like mini maps to our body.
Mm-hmm.
So when I apply pressure, whether it be with my fingers or my thumbs, mostly it's my thumbs. I'm sending a message. I'm sending a message to your body. So it's not like I don't diagnose and I don't heal a specific condition, but I'm helping your body heal itself.
Right.
I've had people where before a session I have to ask a questionnaire. There are people that I cannot do reflexology on. For example, a woman who's in her first trimester if she's pregnant. Someone who's had recent surgery. Obviously, people who have certain skin conditions. I can't do that. Mm-hmm. But I find that I've had a client in the past where she was a little embarrassed about something that was going on, so she failed to tell me what was going on. And there was just something not right. And I told her, I said, like, did you tell me everything? Because I'm feeling something really bad here. I didn't say really bad because I can't say that.
Right.
But I'm feeling, something
is off. Yeah.
Something is off. And she goes, no. And then I paused for a minute, and she was embarrassed, and I said, do you have really, really bad hemorrhoids to the point where you cannot sit down? And she looked at me and she popped up from the table. She was laying down and she said, how do you know that?
Wow. Eh?
From
the feet. Like,
yeah, from the
okay,
feet.
how did you know that?
Well, I do know where the areas are for that issue on the feet. And it was the area was very, very hard. And when it's very hard and it feels grainy underneath the skin, there's something going on. Now, it doesn't tell me that it's hemorrhoids. It could be many things.
Mm-hmm.
That's where her intuition comes in.
But that's where it comes in. I worked on someone. It's probably going to be about a year, and she said, "Oh, that really hurts there," and she was actually helping me with grasping my intuition, my intuitive thing. And she says, okay, now you need to just tune in. And so I tuned in and I said, were you hit in the face with a baseball bat or with a baseball or a baseball bat? That just came up. And she said, you got it. She said, how old was I? And so I tuned in and I tuned in and I tuned in and I said, I'm coming up with 12. And she said, well, I was 14, but that's close enough.
Wow. Oh my God. I have goosebumps.
I am glad. Like, I know a lot of people think, you were raised this way, it's wrong for you to be involved with such a thing, but really it's not. It's actually brought me to where I am today, where I needed to be. I needed to be here today.
That's so incredible. You're getting some love in the comments of like recovering JW. Thank you, Macy and Christine also. That's why I was like, I want you to say that you were a Jehovah's Witness, and like us too, right? Because there's something really powerful. So a couple of things is that it's so easy if someone has been controlled in their childhood, regardless of where it came from, you'll go into relationships or into work environments where you are also controlled until you break that cycle of not needing that anymore, because it's what's in our system, right, of what feels like home to us. But we can rewire that, thankfully, right? And also everything has its purpose. So even all of that there are gifts that we took out of the religions or those maybe controlling kind of childhoods, because we can read energy. We just know, like, you're in a room with people and you just know who you're connecting to and who is like stay away from, or just being able to listen to those voices. So there are so many gifts. And even through, like, I'll even say through the Jehovah's Witnesses and like what they taught us as far as like learning the Bible, going door to door, talking to people, all of that, those are all sales skills that people teach for people to have in their business that we actually learned by being a part of the organization. So if anyone is watching and you are an ex-Jehovah's Witness, like, reach out to me, because I'll help you like put together a plan or something where you can build community, or something that is a passion and a love of yours. Like what you're doing is really helping people, but you're also not letting the past influence how you can really transform someone's life. And that is so beautiful. Like your intuition and just what you know of the feet and your love and care of wanting to help people is so powerful, right? And Virginia, she said she loves reflexology. Years ago, I had a combo reflexology / Reiki session, and whoa, that was really incredible. You two are that session.
Come on over.
Come on
right?
over.
The two of you, imagine the two of you working on someone, like, it'll just be mind-blowing for them.
That actually brings a memory. We have a client that we do work on together. And usually Lucy does their reflexology session first, and then I do their Reiki session.
Awesome.
So after the Reiki session, I always ask for feedback because I want to know, I want to make sure that everything's okay. And the individual said, I asked them, I said, how do you feel? And the individual said to me, I feel stoned.
I was going to say that.
The person was on another level, and it's like I feel incredible. So it's like, and I know it's not me. I know it's the universal, and it's
Yeah.
it's the universal love energy that's working through me and through Lucy to bring about these feelings.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'm very humbled to be that conduit. Very humbled.
That's a testimonial for your website.
It's lovely when you're working on someone and you just, you feel that they're relaxed, but sometimes I also feel their stress.
For sure.
Yeah, I also feel their stress, and it's very important that you clear yourself. And Max he's taught me how to do that, because after working on someone who has so much going on in their life, and then forgetting or not clearing, forgetting to clear myself, it'll take a toll on you if you're not able to. And I was working on someone recently where I normally try to encourage that during a treatment that they just relax and not talk, because when they're talking, they got other things going on their mind. They're not concentrating on this relaxed state where they should be in. And she started talking about her sister-in-law who was going to be undergoing some heart surgery, a really big heart surgery. Instantly, I was told she wasn't even going to go, and she wasn't even going to make it on the table.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're working on someone and you feel the connection that other people have to this person. Like you had a person on, a couple people earlier, I believe, or maybe it was the last person, where they said that they get these like sort of visions of when they're working on someone. I get that all the time. With me, it's like I feel it in the body, and it's like, okay, so my left shoulder will hurt, and I'll say like, okay, how's your left shoulder? Like, actually, it hurts. I'm like, okay, that's not mine, but I'm feeling it. So it's, for me, it's an indication from the universe for me to work on that and to sort of alleviate that. And then it's like, and then I'll feel something like, okay, well, how's your right shoulder? Well, my right shoulder's fine, but my husband's right shoulder is actually hurting. So now I'm feeling through her husband's pain. And it's like, okay,
that's energy.
There's an energy, and the energy is always combined, and it's universal love energy, and the energy is strongest when there's such a strong love bond, right? And it's beautiful. And if we could just like trust in that and bring about this love energy on a more not 3D, or evolve to that level, to that vibration, what a beautiful world we would be. Right?
Mm-hmm. If I could just go back to the story of when I was working on that client in regards to her sister-in-law. She went home. She called us, 2 hours later? She called you?
Yeah.
Her sister-in-law had passed away.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's like I said, I was meant to be here today.
Wow. Oh, goosebumps. You guys are getting lots of love in the comments. Virginia's asking if you guys have gift certificates, because she knows some people who could use this.
We do have gift certificates. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We also have a promotion going on. If you mention this show, I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
Well,
there is a promo code where you get 10% off our services.
Show the back, maybe.
And the promo code is
0407.
0407.
Cool. Can you do me a favor? Will you take a photo, and will you the front and back, and do a post on my Facebook page and also in our group,
For sure.
My Soul Reconnection by Healing Soul School, and then that way people can get it.
Absolutely.
For sure.
That's awesome. And I just like a big shout out, like anyone you're watching over these 2 days that you really resonate and you think, wow, that's really cool. Support local. Use that as a gift option for someone this Christmas or a birthday or something like that, because this is way better than a sweater, something right that we don't need.
And we also do
the gift of healing, as my mom would always say. She'd buy us health stuff, and we'd be like, health stuff.
We also make
the
wire
gift of healing.
Yeah. We also make wire wraps. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, good. Yeah.
One here's a
beautiful necklaces.
Yeah, so we have necklaces. I infuse them with love energy, Reiki love energy, when I give them out. And yeah, those are available as well. You could use a gift certificate on that. You could use a gift certificate on our sessions.
I have Indian. I also do Indian head massage, and I also teach it. So starting in January, I will be teaching Indian head massage. I've got a couple of girls already who have signed up. So if anyone is interested, just
you guys could have an agency, like for real. Okay, tell me, because there's two things I really, really want to ask. First of all, what is Indian head massage?
Okay, so to put it in a very small, Indian head massage is almost like reflexology. Whereas we do have a lot of nerve endings in the scalp. So it's just releasing all of that stress and getting into the nerve endings in the scalp. You know, you get to all these travels through all the meridians in your body. I mean, I've had people say that they enjoy the Indian head massage more than they do the reflexology. It's like a glorified version of that, you know, that hair wash you get at the hairdresser.
But the other thing, because I do it as well, I just haven't practiced it as much as my better half. The other thing it does too is, like, you can actually, when you're working on someone after you've gotten them ready, you actually feel like a little grain, almost like a thing of sand underneath the scalp.
Underneath the scalp, it feels grainy.
And if you press it when you're working on the person, it'll disappear.
It releases.
And it releases. And I've done it on myself where my hearing feels muffled and stuff like that. And there's one back here where I just press it, and all of a sudden my hearing's better.
Wow.
And my eyes are better. And there's other ones for your eyes. There's other ones for your. It's
very relaxing.
It's very relaxing. Yes.
Very relaxing.
I'm bringing my mom for her ears. I'm teasing. I just think it's selective hearing for the kids. Okay, so that's awesome. And we were talking about that actually a couple of days ago, how good it is to get a massage at the hairdresser. And you do that. So if anyone's watching and you love the feeling of that, then definitely reach out to.
It's 45 minutes long.
Oh my gosh.
And sometimes we have to wake you up after.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like, out cold. That's awesome. And then thank you for sharing that. I also am so curious from you, Max. And Christine recognizes you from Clubhouse, which is awesome. So she said hello. She's like, Max. Holy Fire Karuna Reiki. What is that? Is that Reiki in another class you put together? Or if you could share, I'm so curious.
Okay, so I teach Reiki. I teach Holy Fire Karuna Reiki. And we teach it. So basically, so there's different types of Reiki. Okay, there's Usari Reiki. There's other ones that I don't know about. All my tradition is in Usari. Holy Fire has, so basically if you do Holy Fire, there's there's about 4 or 5 symbols. Holy Fire Karuna Reiki, there's about 12 symbols. And the 12 symbols deal with different aspects of the 3 bodies, so emotional, physical, and spiritual. And then sometimes I've been gifted other symbols that come through meditation or when I'm being placed. You have to be placed in the symbols in order to be able to use them.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's just a more expansive. I mean, I like to call it Reiki on steroids because it's a more intense but gentler. How do I put this? It's intense but gentler. It's more effective.
More effective
than the other Reiki, than just the regular Holy Fire that I've done before. Not to say that Holy Fire is not effective, because it is as well. But as you know, with the changing energetics that's going on in the world, I found that the Karuna is working.
Mm-hmm. Really, I feel healing and energy healing is not going to come from a book anymore. It's actually going to come from what's within us, right? And what we're shown in our own gifts.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. It's the love energy that works through you. And if it's celestial or if it comes from the earth, because there are very fantastic Reiki practitioners that are earth that work with earth energy. But yeah, it's my gifts from what I've been told are from celestials.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. And you are also a medium. Like the two of you are just so incredible.
I am, yes. I can things come through in Reiki sessions that it's not your typical Reiki session. I mean, I've seen certain things on people, and then I've asked, and then I said, you might want to get that checked out, and then they come back to me and say, oh yeah, by the way, I had a cyst here, or I'll get people come through, spirits will come in, and they'll say, because when I'm doing my intuitive healing, because I call it that, I'm being told what to do. Like I close my eyes are closed most of the time, unless I'm observing the person and they're breathing and making sure that they're okay.
Right.
But most of the time, my eyes are closed, and there's this little, I like to say, Okinawan man who's pointing at places on the person's body, saying, "Put your hands here, use this symbol, and do that." I know,
like a wizard.
I know him as a master, there's been times where he is the divine guidance, where there's angels that come in and divinely guide. I've been in rooms where it seems like it's just me and my client, but I'm sweating because there's so much other stuff that's in there as well, like angels and their guides and stuff like that, and they're all helping the healing. Right?
Cool.
And the idea behind Reiki is just as the reflexology is, I'm helping you help your body heal itself. I don't do anything.
Mm-hmm. That's so neat. Do you feel like you would want to do a reading right now?
A reading?
For it? Yeah. For the collective or something that you're picking up? If not, it's okay, because we didn't talk about that.
No, we didn't, but I'd have to go pick up some cards because right now I'm a little...
Yeah. If something drops in, awesome, but we definitely hadn't planned for that, so that's okay.
So I've been talking about what needs to be brought into this reality, and it is divine love. And that's the message that's coming through right now for the collective. And this platform is they're saying, use the platform for divine love. And what is divine love? So I'm going to reiterate what I've done everywhere else that I've been talking about this. And divine love is the creator's love. So if you think about how the creator recognizes that creation spark within you, or God's spark within you, or however you identify, it's recognizing that beauty in each and every person, and recognizing also that, okay, so this person's done me harm, but there's got to be a reason why he acted that way. And if we find out that he worked on this amount of knowledge when really the knowledge base is this much, what he actually did, whether it harmed me or not, is actually within reason for what he knew. So the divine love comes in saying, okay, you know what? I recognize the divine spark in you. Even though you've harmed me, I still love you. And the harm is something that I have to internalize and realize, okay, well, what is this showing me? Why am I the one that feels hurt? What is it that I need to deal with within myself to not be hurt for the next time? Right? So it's a soul to soul connection. It's a love that so I say that unconditional love is here, divine love's here.
Awesome.
It's just a more all-encompassing love. I remember the first time I've experienced it. I was sitting in nature meditating, and just I felt as if I was becoming one with where it was. And I opened my eyes were clear, I could hear more, and I had this overwhelming warmth, like I have right now, of beauty and
beautiful.
I don't know if that helps, if I'm articulating it properly, but I hope someone.
Beautiful. That's so good. And when you were talking earlier, Lucy, about, you know, the feeling someone blowing on you to wake you up, and then your client kissing you after he had passed, like after he'd passed away and you felt like he was kissing you on your cheek, it's almost like you were getting the kiss of the divine, right? That's what I thought of when.
Yeah, it was just actually maybe I didn't explain that well. He wasn't a client, he was actually my partner.
Oh.
Yeah, he was actually my partner. I came home from work and he had passed away in our home.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was and so then a couple of days after, I actually woke up to him kissing me on the cheek. So yeah, so it was, like I said before, it just woke me up. I have to stop ignoring this, and even working as a PSW in the home, I did a lot of night shifts, and for some reason, at nighttime is when they all come out. You know, I used to see shadows walking down the hallways. You know, I'd be vacuuming the dining room because everything was quiet, you know, and cleaning, and then I'd just like see someone just walk by. There was nobody there because I was the only one in the area. I shouldn't say there was no one there. No, there was someone there.
Yeah.
Myself and whoever was walking by. But yeah, I could not ignore it any longer.
Should we tell the story a little bit?
I think so we don't freak anyone out. Like if this is new for them, is when we die, the grid doesn't change. Like energy can't be destroyed or created. And so when our meat body, when it's done, then we go somewhere, right? And so that's what we're seeing is the spirit of the person that is there as we would recognize them. And that they're all around us. Like they're all around us right now. Some people can see them or feel them and some can't. And that's okay, not to scare anyone, but it's still all spirit. It's all source, creator, God, whatever your comfort word is. And it's just so beautiful because you're really tapped in. And I feel that that's one of your gifts is that you are here to come and learn how to feel and read those energies. But now you're going to help people transform through their feet and their head.
So true. Yeah. So true. Yeah. I had a hard time. Shouldn't say a hard time, but I knew years ago that I needed to, I couldn't ignore it any longer. But then when I actually met someone who was beyond me, it was scary because I remember being here at Max's house and he would say, "Oh, did you hear that?" And I'd be like, "Yeah." He would say, "Yeah, that's the spirit." I'm like, "What?"
Especially as an ex-Jehovah's Witness, it's like,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, I don't know about this guy.
Away, right?
I gotta go.
No, it was my grandmother. So my grandmother's very connected to me, and she comes and looks in every once in a while, and I knew that it was her.
Right.
Just getting traumatized.
Yeah. Getting me prepared.
But yeah,
I used to be a PSW, and for a short time, I was home and I was, building up my bank account to go travel again. So I would do the overnight shifts because it was an easy $100 a night, and they were sleeping. So this one gentleman was passing away, and all week I was like, they told me he was ready to go soon. So all week I'm like, please don't go on my shift. And of course I didn't get the call. So I go there, he dies within like 30 or 40 minutes of me getting there. I'm like, for real? Now I got to wait for the family to come and the coroner and like all that stuff. So anyways, the son is with me in the room, and the heat really leaves quickly from the body. I was really surprised. We had to undress him out of his pajamas and put clothes on him. I don't know why, and take off his jewelry. Yeah. So I'm helping the son with that. And then in the living room, it was a double room place. In the living room, this big, huge ass book, it was bigger than I would say 2 phone books. Okay. Flies off a table onto the floor. There's no one else around. It's still dark, not even a nurse. It's just the son and I in the room. And I was like, he goes, "That's my dad. He's saying goodbye. He was a school principal." And I was like, wow. Can I go now? This is before anything spiritual, but it's it was just something that was very memorable for me, like to feel that, but to have that experience, it's real, definitely.
It is. And like I said, when I went through that native sweat,
Native sweat,
Native American sweat.
Okay. Is that like a sweat lodge?
Yes, that's exactly what it was.
Okay.
So when I went through that, I couldn't deny it anymore. There is stuff out there, and this stuff is real, guys.
But not to be afraid of it.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's
just loving divine.
Part of life that we don't see or don't see or don't feel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like after that, it was like, okay, I can't ignore it, because now it's like always there, right? It's always being put in my face. So it's like, so to ignore it is ignoring part of myself. That's the way I see it.
That's awesome. Christine says, I'm booked in. I'm not sure what that means. But I'm curious, if you're watching, pop in the comments if you saw things as a kid. Like, did you see things or feel things and you just knew, and the parents were like, no, don't talk about that stuff. I find that so fascinating because, many people, well, we all have these intuitive gifts or psychic abilities. It's just we were either not taught how to access them, or if we had them, then we were like told to be quiet, right? I hear many stories of that, of healers and mediums who say, it started when I was a kid, I felt these things or saw them. And the little one that I raised, she has told me, there's people in the room with us, like, and this is in another house we lived in. She said, I see them in the corner, right? And I'm like, okay. Right. And I'm like I wasn't scared, but she also sees, she's very sensitive to energies as well. And I think it's so neat, she's stopped for the last number of years, but it's within all of us. And so now, and if you have kids and you're raising them, and next we're talking about conscious parenting, is really just to whatever the kids are sharing with you, instead of, telling them to be quiet or because you don't understand, just really ask for more details and find out more information, or get someone to help you that knows about that stuff, because the kid is there as a gift for you to teach you something or show you something, from maybe the spirit world or, the divine that you wouldn't have had access to otherwise, which is really cool.
And I would add your animals too.
And add grandmas?
Your animals.
Oh, animals. Right. Okay, tell us. What do you mean?
So what I mean by that is I have a dog, and he drives her crazy, and I look at it because he'll look and then look over there, and it's like he's barking, he's reacting to something, and I know that being spiritualized, so he's seeing something,
right?
And someone might say, okay, well, he's got a behavioral problem. Well, maybe not. Maybe something is affecting him. Maybe something is triggering him. And when you look at it from that perspective, you're like, okay, well, what is it? What are you here to teach me? And they will mimic the energy that they're picking off you. So if there's a sort of a behavioral problem with the animal, it could very well be that it's picking something up, an imbalance in your life.
Yeah, from the owner. Yeah. And same with kids, right? Your kids have ADHD, or like they're crying and colic or something. They're feeling the energy of most likely the adult or the owner. We have a spirit cat here at home, which, kind of at first I've been newer to energies in the last year and a half. So not scary, but my mom had told me that she felt the cat jump up on the bed. This is before we had cats. And then one night I went to bed and I felt it on my pillow, and it was like, when the cats do this, right?
Yeah.
Comfort. I felt it on the pillow, and it was just like, oh, hey, like you're here, do you have a message kind of thing? Not to be afraid of, but animals totally are here to help us to transmute some of the energy and with healing. I was telling my mom this morning, it was so funny, when I'm on Clubhouse, the cats always find me. And one morning I was in a room, and it was on healing toxic family relationships, which is heavy, right? Heavy kind of stuff. And the cat it was like the room was a racetrack, and she was going around the whole outside of the room, the windowsills, the dressers, and all of that. And I thought of after, I'm like, it's almost like she was creating a vortex. like trying to, help me transmute that energy.
She was protecting you. She was protecting you.
Yeah.
That's what came through right when you said that, was that she was protecting you. The cat was protecting you. Our animals protect us. They do.
Yeah. So we have one, she's like a darker brown color, Jag, and I was gonna say, like, she's totally my protector. She sleeps with me. She sleeps in between my feet, actually, and I feel that energy from her. It's like, I'm here. I got you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Animals are
Cool. Let's share with everyone. The time has already gone. I can't even believe it.
Ready?
Oh, has
This
it?
goes so fast.
Oh, wow.
How can people connect with you? And then
So
you'll put up
we are
the link
in-
for the gift certificates.
So we are in Burlington, Ontario. The numbers for bookings is 289-260-3383. You can book whatever you like that way. If you want to get the gift certificates, just give us a call, and we will set up a time. You can just drop in during our business hours. Our Facebook, well, you have our website up, so you can view things on our website. You can get in contact with us there, because we have messages come to our email.
Our email address is soul-templespa@outlook.com.
Cool.
I also wanted to, you can also search us on Google. If you are searching for Reiki or reflexology, will come up. I also wanted to make mention that we this year have been nominated for Reader's Choice Awards 2021. Out of 7 nominations, we are at number 5. We're proud.
Yes, I forgot about that.
That's awesome.
So,
Congratulations.
so yeah, thank you.
It's under wellness, if you guys want to vote. Hint, hint. It's under wellness and reflexology, and you'll see footsteps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. Love that you're in our community and that we've even met in person, and just looking forward to the next time. Thank you for everything that you guys do and helping others. And we will connect.
And
Thank you so much.
And I just want to say, Christine, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes.
Thank you for meeting me, and Virginia as well. Thank you. And I hope to do this again with you.
Cool. All right. Yes,
Lots of love,
thank you.
ladies. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Take care. All right. Oh man, that was a juicy conversation. Love it. Thank you. All right. We're